Hey, Mom, you're driving? I'm guessing you're driving to this. We won't see your comments. Hey, Michelle. Oh, hey, Linda. If you guys... Hey, Cynthia. If y'all didn't see Catherine, good morning, guys. Wow, hi. Everyone's just rolling right in. Hey, Linda. Yeah, a lot. A lot better. A whole lot better. So, thank you. So, if you missed Sarah Ballard's Molluscope last night, watch the replay before it goes away. Thank you, Jana. It was amazing that someone could be making a necklace or a mala. Yeah, I feel pretty good today. I feel a lot better. I've had a little bit of a rough week physically, but I feel pretty good today. Oh, okay. Catch the replay, Cynthia. It's nice. Thanks for stopping by to say good morning anyway. Love seeing you. Linda, watch it. Ugh. Normally the molluscopes are like, oh, they're cool, and I like watching Sarah, but if I have other things to do, they don't usually capture my attention. But last night I clicked onto it, which I normally wouldn't, and oh my gosh, like just her making that and the energy that was there was really healing. Check it out. It was incredible. So, it's so soothing. It was really soothing. Like I found myself just sitting, holding the phone like this, like, oh, Sarah's doing cool stuff. Good morning. Okay. So, I've had some coffee. Good morning, beloveds. I've had some peppermint huffing. Oh boy. Okay. So, I have a few things for you today. We're going to do our Course in Miracles thing. We've been talking all week about choosing how you, I cried. The energy in that molluscope last night made me cry. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm crying watching someone making a necklace. Yeah, Vetiver. My favorite. So, we'll do our Course in Miracles thing. All week we've been talking about choosing how you see. Yeah. Like it was that intense. It could have been the mood I was in, but it was pretty intense for me. Choosing where you see, choosing what you focus on, and then yesterday or the day before, I can't remember now, I think it was the day before, we started talking about seeking approval and how it's a primal need to be accepted by the tribe, and it's such a primal thing, and we don't need that anymore, but we have to teach ourselves that we don't need to sacrifice ourselves for acceptance, and we don't have to let other people walk on us to function in the world. We actually need to do quite the opposite. So I ran across this awesome book, which was life-changing for me back in the early 2000s. This book right here, Mastery of Love, Don Miguel Ruiz. So, The Four Agreements was a good book. It didn't grab me like it did a lot of people. I liked it. This book, this is my third copy of this book. I had one that was so tattered and underlined. It was in my office, and this woman who was going through some rough times grabbed it and just needed it so bad I let her have it. Then I got another one. Oh, yeah. It's a great book. So then I got another copy, and it had the same thing happen. Somebody I was working with just needed it so bad. I was like, you know what? Just take it. And so this is my third copy of this book. And let me backtrack real quick. My name is Michelle Wolf, Coach for Healers and Helpers. Glad you're here. We do this every day. You can find more about me if you want details, caddyshackdesigns.com. And here's the flip side of that. If you need to take a screenshot, that's my cat, Juna. He is feral born and quite the lunatic. He's actually a little bit like I adopted a wild raccoon. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I love him. So we're going to read a piece from this, which has to do with that approval-seeking stuff. And for me, I read it, and I read it, and I read it like in 2002, 2003, 2004. I read it over and over and over and over. And then the last thing is, I found an extra copy of Stephen Pressfield's Do the Work. I'm just going to show you the back. Stephen Pressfield's Do the Work. It's a really short little book. and it talks about resistance, and I'm going to do a giveaway with this one next Monday. So be here next Monday if you're interested, and I'll set my laptop up and we'll enter everyone's name and we'll do a random drawing for this very amazing book. So he talks about the resistance that we've talked about in a really, we like free stuff, right? He goes through resistance really quickly. The inner critic, his ass is not permitted in the building. Suspend all self-judgment. Just do it. Okay, so it's real short. And you can get this in an ebook for like $3 or $4. It's super cheap. The hardcover is $12.99. So anyway, next Monday, guys, we'll do a giveaway for this book in the morning. Okay. Okay, so let's get going, and then I want to tell you how this all hooks together. So today's reading is also applicable. Don't you love, like, the more you let go, the more we're all letting go of living in a traditional way, things just kind of come across our paths and we recognize that it's there for us. That's the difference for me, is when things, in the last year, when things pop up, I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. Let me just be curious about this and see what happens. It's really nice to live that way. Hi, Adrian. In a comfortable, flowy kind of way. And even when harsh emotions come up, they just are there. They just are. Even being sick, I didn't freak out over being sick. I took care of my body and I did what I needed to do. And, it's a good way to live. Good morning. Okay, so today's lesson is... Don't tell me I lost it. Oh, yeah. It's 272 in the workbook. Yeah, but it's happening so fast for me. So many things coming at me you want to soak up. Michelle, you're not alone. Like, the other day I was driving into town and I literally felt dizzy. So many, like, things that I've been striving to overcome in my own brain just all clicked together at once on the drive, and I literally was like, do I need to pull over? Like, am I going to get these awesome realizations and then smash my car into the side of the mountain because I feel so disoriented? So, be careful of your physical body while you're going through these changes, but let the fast be fast. You almost are better off letting the fast be fast because you can't outthink yourself. When things are coming like this, your ego doesn't have a chance. Yes, please be careful and please get out into nature and ground in the earth. Get some contact with the natural world. Every day, if you possibly can. It will help your body. Do the Koya dancing. Qoya. It's helping my body move through the changes that are happening so fast. But just suspend judgment of it. When these things are happening fast, don't try to analyze them and put them in the normal boxes like we do. I'm not saying you do this. I'm saying that I do this and some people do this. We want to analyze it and think of like, oh, this happened and then that happened. And we want to take the chaos and make it linear. And it's not, because it's emotion and it's spirit. And emotion and spirit are not linear. They just are. So what's happening to our brains, I think, is that we are becoming better able to hold the duality in our thoughts. I used to teach dialectical behavioral therapy, which is a highly successful therapy. Right. So just suspend it. When you feel that feeling of, oh, it's too fast, just say, it's not too fast. I can handle it. And just like, see if you can imagine yourself opening to contain all this new stuff. Dialectical behavioral therapy is good with personality disorders because it teaches distress tolerance skills, it teaches personal skills. But the biggest thing it teaches is that things are not right and wrong, black and white. It teaches people to hold dual concepts in their brain at the same time, which is really hard if you haven't done it before. So what happens, especially in borderline personality disorder, is they see people as one thing or the other thing. They have trouble comprehending that a person can be great one day and kind of crappy the next day, and even worse the next day, and the next day be totally awesome. Like, we're people. We come and go. We're up and down. We can give, and there are days we can't give. And it teaches people with that personality disorder to hold the concept that things can be a dozen different things all at the same time, and you don't have to focus on one piece at a time. You can perceive the whole. So I think that's what's happening to a lot of us on a grander scale, is we're not focused on Christianity and Islam and Judaism. We're focused on spirit. Wow, that's big. That's big. But I really feel like a lot of us are going beyond the place of needing a label or a dogma or a set of instructions. I think we're just all getting to a place where we're connecting more and more directly and actually consciously embodying spirit in the world. I really feel like we're letting spirit come more into the world and be in the world, letting spirit use our hands and our voices and our work to help others, to uplift everyone. Because one comes up, we all come up, right? And it's not a matter of up or down. It's awareness. I think we're reaching a critical tipping point in our state of awareness. And, I'm just babbling here. It's just these are the things that I think in this crackpot head of mine. But I do think that globally, we're getting more comfortable with dualistic concepts, which can be really disorienting to our mind and disorienting to our body. So please take care of your bodies. Move. Walk, yoga, shake, do the shaking stuff, do Koya dancing, thrive, or Katch.me/thrive with Sarah, Sara. Tons of Koya dancing videos there. You can YouTube it. Move your body and let your body adjust to this new energy. Okay, so I digress. But this is all related. I know, it's kind of lonely. Michelle says, I don't relate to my friends and neighbors so much anymore. It can be a lonely time when you're transitioning from one way of living to another, and don't be surprised if friends and family are confused by you. Right, Linda? Right, it happens. I know I've been through it. I know my mom's on here. She's been through it. I know my sister's been through it. Yeah, we're here for you. You can be different with us, but more will come in that you will relate to. Exactly. The in-between time can be a little lonely. Yeah, Periscope helps. Your Perry family is here for you to not feel so lonely. If you feel lonely, I'm making that assumption. I didn't ask you. Do you feel lonely, Michelle? But it can be. It's like you see them looking at you differently. Like you see their facial expressions change toward you. I think we need to learn to be okay with being alone too. Absolutely. Sometimes the lonely period is when you strengthen your connection to your new life. So it's almost like that. Who was talking about, was it Dr. Emilia Sam? Was talking about being in the cocoon and the in-between time of, you're growing, you're changing, you're building muscles, you're separated from the herd, so to speak, as a protection. Yeah, that's okay. I agree with Catherine. That's okay. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. So the recognition part can make you feel lonely. And then you can step back and say, goodbye, mentally, emotionally, and welcoming the new, and just being, just sort of simmering in this new stuff, just slowly cooking in this new stuff. Yeah. So these are powerful times, folks. And like I said, 6 weeks or so ago, when you are spending your days going from scope to scope that's keeping you centered in your spiritual connection, your life's going to change. You're going to have some upheavals. Things are going to change, but they aren't bad upheavals. They just are like tossing a jigsaw puzzle in the air and waiting for it to land so you can put it back together in a different way. It's a new puzzle. So you're so used to doing and living unconsciously. So the doing thing is a masculine way of living in the world, which was what we're taught to do. To be successful, you have to be action, out there, moving, going. And the more goddessy, femininity type energy is to just relax. When you need to do something, you'll know that you need to do it. And until then, you just take care of yourself. You watch your periscopes, you do your journeys. Yeah. Receiving, letting life flow through you instead of feeling like you have to make it happen. You're taking a back seat. You're letting spirit take the lead. You're just letting the source energy guide your life, which is completely different. So today's lesson is 272 from the workbook, and it's all related to the stuff we're talking about and we've been talking about all week. How can illusions satisfy God's Son? That's what we're discovering. They can't. Father, the truth belongs to me. My home is set in heaven by your will and mine. Can dreams content me? Can illusions bring me happiness? What but your memory can satisfy your Son? I will accept no less than you have given me. I am surrounded by your love, forever still, forever gentle, and forever safe. God's Son must be as you created him. Today we pass illusions by, and if we hear temptation call to us to stay and linger in a dream, we turn aside and ask ourselves if we, the sons of God, could really be content with dreams. When heaven can be chosen just as easily as hell, and love will happily replace all fear. We have reached a place where we cannot be satisfied with the cotton candy, sparkly things. They are useless to us, and the more you reach for them, the more unsatisfied and discontent you'll be, because you've had contact with the meat of the matter, so to speak. So the French fries are not going to do you any good. They don't taste good anymore. Poor little French fries. You want the steak. Okay, once you've had consistent connection to source, it almost makes you restless because you want more of that. And that's awesome, because that's where the truth lies. You don't need other people to validate you, because you have the glory of heaven available to you in every moment. And the more you taste that, the more you crave that. And that's what fills the hole that we're born with. We're born with an ache in our heart that guides us back to where we need to be. We can think that it belongs in alcohol or relationships or food or TV or whatever. We try to fill that ache with other people usually. But it's made to be filled by source. And the more you reach for source, the more that ache is satisfied. And it will turn your world upside down in a very good way. And the more you can just flow with that, understanding what's happening, helps you feel safe in the process. Okay, so what but your memory can satisfy your son? When you start letting go of things, you remember who you are. You remember that you are connected to this infinite intelligence and love that expects nothing of you and gives everything to you. It's what we've been seeking from others, and they can't give it to us because they're just human too. They have to connect to the same source too. A person can't give you unconditional love. It's not possible. Not 24/7. We can have moments of unconditional love toward others, but, then they do something that pisses us off and we're right back, at square one. I am surrounded by your love, forever still, forever gentle, and forever safe. It doesn't matter what is happening, you're safe. Your mind will tell you that you're not. And it's not true. It's the ultimate liar. Your mind will tell you that you're dying, and you're not. Only your physical body can die. The you that's you can't die. You can change locations. What was I reading the other day where a man said his wife had recently changed her address to heaven? Ugh, it totally made me cry. Today, we're going to pass illusion by. We're going to recognize what it is. That's an illusion. Husband, I would love for you to be everything to me, but I know you can't, so I'm going to let you off the hook. And I'm going to reach for God instead. I'm going to drink from that infinite fountain that never runs dry. I'm not going to expect my husband to do that for me. He can't. He makes really good dinner, though, so we're going to keep him. We can't be content with dreams. It's not possible. If we hear temptation call us to stay and linger, we're going to turn aside and remind ourselves we can't be content. Now, right before we got on here, Linda was talking about, staying on the internet so long your eyeballs turn to little desert lumps in your head, but you keep watching. That's a temptation. That's a seeking of entertainment, which we love. I love the internet. I love it. When it broke yesterday, I have to admit, I had a little bit of a panic. Oh my God, I can't get on Facebook. Holy crap, I can't upload a video of the cats cleaning each other onto Instagram. It was terrifying. And I was like, whoa, Michelle, you might want to take a step back. My husband can't be everything to me. The internet can't be everything to me. Periscope can't be everything to me. Only Source. It's called Source for a reason. I know, right? It's the zombie apocalypse. I was like, Heath, load the guns. Load the guns. Where's our food? Start filling water jugs. The internet is broken. Right. How can illusion satisfy God's Son? Can't. This brings us to the seeking of approval from others, which is what I wanted to read to you out of this book. When I ran across this book, I was heavily hung up on a man who was not interested in me. The classic unrequited love that, is written about in a zillion billion stories. It was horrible. It was 5 years of horrible. There was some there were things that he did that kept me hooked in, but I spent those 5 years deeply unhooking, doing everything I could to stop seeking from others what they couldn't give me. Whoops. Can you guys see that when it happens when a call pops up? Let me see if I can. I'll call her back in just a second. So this book, Mastery of Love, Don Miguel Ruiz, talks about that whole subject of wanting from other people what they cannot give us. Romantically, sexually, in friendships. Oh, the volume goes down. Okay. So in chapter 6, I put a slice of pizza in the title because he talks about the pizza. It's called The Magical Kitchen. And I'm going to just read pieces of it to you because it relates. Imagine you have a magical kitchen in your home. In the magical kitchen, you can have any food you want from any place of the world in any quantity. That would be tandoori chicken for me. You never, you never worry about what to eat. You're very generous with your food. You give your food unconditionally to others, not because you want something from them, but because you have so much and you know it's endless. Whoever comes to your home, you feed just for the pleasure of sharing your food. And your house is always full of people who come to eat the food from your magical kitchen. Then one day someone knocks at your door and it's a person with a pizza. You open the door and they say, "Hey, see this pizza? I'll give you this pizza if you let me control your life. If you'll do whatever I want you to do. And you're never going to starve because I can bring pizza every day. You just have to be good to me." Can you imagine your reaction standing in your own magical kitchen where you can have pizza anytime you want it? If this person comes and offers you food if you'll do what he wants you to do, you would laugh. You'd say, "No way, I don't need your food. I've got plenty of food. You can come into my house and you can eat with me and you don't have to do anything. But don't believe I'm going to do whatever you want me to do because no one's going to manipulate me with food." But we get manipulated with approval, don't we? We fall into that trap. Like, I'll approve of you and I'll compliment you and I'll build you up if you do what I want anytime I want it. Now imagine the opposite. Several weeks have gone by and you are starving. Your food dried up. You have no money. The person comes with the pizza and says, "Hey, there's food here. You can have this food if you just do what I want you to do." You can smell the food and you're starving. You decide to accept the food and you do whatever the person asks of you. And they say, "If you want more, you can have more, but you just have to keep doing what I want you to do." So you have food today, but you might not have food tomorrow, so you agree and you become a slave. Then after a certain time you have doubts. What am I going to do without my pizza? I can't live without my pizza. What if my partner decides to give the pizza to someone else? My pizza! Now imagine that instead of food, we were talking about love. You have an abundance of love in your heart right now. You have love not just for yourself, but for the whole world. You have so much, you don't need anybody else's love. It's nice to have it. It's nice to share it. But you don't need it. You share your love without condition. You don't love if. You're a millionaire in love. Someone knocks on your door and says, "Hey, I have love for you here. You can have my love if you do whatever I want you to do." You're like, "No, that's okay. I don't need your love. I got love of my own. And in fact, I'm tapped into the source of all love. So I don't need you." But if you're starving for love, if you are not connected to the source of all love, you'll do just about anything. You'll smother yourself. You'll stop yourself from creating. You'll be so needy, you give your whole soul for a little attention and approval. And you don't even have to wait for other people to tell you to stop your creativity. You do it yourself. You do it to yourself because you cannot bear the thought of not having their love. Because behind approval is love, right? We're not really seeking approval. We're really seeking love. Your heart's like that magical kitchen. If you open your heart, you've already got all you need. You spend time connecting to Source every day. You're so full of love, it just radiates out to everyone else because you can't even contain it all. You couldn't hold it all if you tried. It's your cup literally runneth over. It just goes everywhere. Can you see the drama humans create when they believe they don't have love? All our relationship problems come back to that. We want something from someone that they can't give us. Only connection to Source is a 24/7, unfailing, completely reliable source of that soul-filling food. Literally soul food. Your soul food does not come from other people. It might come through them. A prayer might be answered from another person. Like, we have to move in the world physically. So if you need a physical object, that prayer is probably going to be answered through someone else. Or if you need an encouraging word, the voice of spirit may come through someone else. But they're not the source. That's a mistake we make, right? We hear someone saying awesome things that trigger an opening and a connection to Source for us, and we mistakenly attribute it to that person, and it's not that person. That person is the chalice, or the channel. That person is the channel, and you can love them for being in service enough to answer your prayer, but don't mistake the fact that it's not them. Their presence helped you leapfrog back into your own connection to Source. That's what happened. They didn't heal you. A healer doesn't heal you. A healer creates space, and you heal yourself. That's where healers can get stuck on ego trips, is they think they did it. They didn't. The best healers are the ones that just channel through and recognize that I love being part of your journey, but I'm not the one doing the work. You are. I'm just here to help remind you who you are. You are not a paralyzed person stuck in fear. That's not who you are. You are a powerful person that needs nothing from anyone else. So we can get on Periscope and talk to an empty camera and feel just as good as when we talk to 6 people or when we talk to 600 people or 6,000 people. You see what I mean? Like, some people, I've watched some new scopers. I know where I had goosebumps earlier. I'm glad you said that. I was like, am I crazy? But I got a little goosebumpy. I've watched some new scopers talking when there's only like 2 or 3 people on there in agony that there's only 2 or 3 people on there. And it's like, so they got off and were like devastated. But it takes time for people to find you on Periscope. It takes time for people to know where you're at and to hear what you have to say, but that's not the point. The point is to share your message. The point is to do the work. That's the point. Do the work. Your work. The work that Spirit guides you to do. And you know in every moment what it is. If it feels good and it makes you feel on fire, that's it. If you're making a collage in your living room all by yourself and you feel amazing, that's the work. That's all you got to do. What happens to it after it comes through you doesn't matter. It just doesn't. So when you feel the temptation to give your power to other people today, stop. Stop it. When you feel the temptation to let other people's opinions of you hurt your heart today, don't. My first scope, I just did it for myself, and if people showed up, whatever, you had fun with it. Yeah. I still had a lot of fear and physical symptoms during my first few scopes, but I just knew I had to keep doing it. My body would react as if there was a threat, like I'd get nauseous and sweaty and stuff, but I knew there wasn't. So you teach yourself. You just go on through it, and you teach yourself, oh, it's okay. It's okay. We went 4-wheeling yesterday into the forest, and there was a really steep hill. It's very hard for me to let my husband drive in physical situations like that, because I used to mountain bike. I've done a lot of 4-wheeling myself, and when you're the one driving, going up, steep like that, super steep. It's not so scary when you're the one driving because you see everything in front of you and that's all you see. When you're sitting in the bitch seat, you see it differently, and you know you don't have the steering wheel. Yeah, it was super scary. But I just kept reminding myself that I would be scared the first time or two if he was driving, and it was important for him to drive. It's his birthday present. So, super scary, but I also know from doing these things repeatedly that it's only scary the first few times, and then you're fine. Because you tell yourself, I'm not going to die. We're not going to die going up a steep incline. You know, if there's risk of death, that's completely different. Hard to anticipate the hill if you're not driving, right? I can't see how long it lasts. I can't see where we're going. I don't know what's around the curve. But I could let go because he knew. And I could let go even further because it doesn't matter. Whatever fear is stopping you, that's resistance, and it doesn't matter. So if you can pull back today and focus on doing what you love, and if you're in a situation today where you have to do things, oh yeah, and we all like to be in control, but it's crazy making trying to stay in control of an uncontrollable existence. Our existence is not controllable. About all you can control is your reaction to your circumstances, right? Yeah, and it's a practice. Learning to let go is a practice. It's just constant self-talk. It's constantly reminding yourself and just being light about it. Like, oh my God, you're still trying to make that person do that thing? That ain't going to help. It's not going to happen. Pull your energy and connect back to source. Reminders all day long. Periscope doesn't have to be scary. I can turn it off. I can delete my broadcast if I'm so horrified by how it went. I can delete it. It's not permanent. If you make a mistake four-wheeling or mountain biking or doing a risky physical thing, me going backpacking solo was always a physical risk. I always knew I was running the risk of not coming back. But I was still willing to take that risk. Periscope's not that. That's a mental created fear. You literally will not die from scoping. You literally will not die from telling someone in your life, well, I guess if it's domestic violence, you may want to rethink your plan. In general, let's just say that. Generally speaking, you're not going to die if you say your truth to the people around you. They get the choice then of what to do. They can leave or they can stay. And if they leave, new people will come, like Catherine said earlier. Disclaimer, yeah, I don't want somebody taking that advice literally and doing something stupid. Use your own judgment. I'm not a therapist right now. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychic. I'm just doing my work. My work is I can't stop talking. So I talk. What you do with it, hopefully, is helpful. That's my hope. But ultimately, I don't have any control over that. You're the only one that has control over it. You know that. So, thanks. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Do the work. Book giveaway next Monday for this little gem of a gem. And then I want to read this. We are. I love how you say, I reflect that back to you. Because we are one. We're this little group that gathers almost every single day. A lot of people consistently watch the replay. We're all doing the same things at the same time, or we wouldn't be here. You would tune in and be like, what's that crazy bitch talking about? Click. You'd just disconnect. It wouldn't make sense to you. I wouldn't resonate with you. You wouldn't resonate with me. So that's the circle thing. You move into a different bubble. Like Catherine said, you move from one bubble to another. There's a transition time. But new people come that are in a different space. What's that crazy bitch saying? Just talking nonsense. I'll get right back to you, Jana. How can illusions satisfy God's Son? They can't. So here's our instructions for today. Today we pass illusions by. Let the people around you off the hook. They can't help you. They can't feed you. You've got your own kitchen. And if we hear temptation call to us to stay and linger in a dream, we turn aside and ask ourselves if we, the sons of God, the children of God, could really be content with dreams when heaven can be chosen just as easily as hell. It's just a choice. And love will happily replace all fear. Pow! So awesome. So awesome. Such an awesome day. Oh, what a great day we're going to have, right? We're going to put this into action. We're going to have an awesome day. And if things happen that we label as not awesome, we're going to just view them as the opportunities that they are to practice what we say we want to practice. Cheers to you and your spiritual growth. Love will happily replace all fear. It's just waiting right there. It's just waiting for you. It's all right there. So, you don't have to do anything for this book. You don't have to give hearts. You don't have to give shares. I saw a couple of contests where they were like, give 1,000 hearts. The person that gives the most hearts wins. And I was like, ew, that's gross. You're like pimping people out for hearts. That's yucky. You don't have to do anything but be here Monday. Whoever's supposed to get it will get it. Whoever doesn't get it and feels compelled to buy it can go get it on an ebook. Yeah. Oh, that's just yuck. Right? I unfollowed those people real fast. I was like, oh, bleh, that's disgusting. Oh, I have coffee tongue. That's gross. Right? Your fingers go numb. All for a book you could just buy yourself for $12.99. Like, people were just like spastic on giving hearts for a book that would cost $25 at the most. I'm like, really, people? Just save your pennies and spend $25 in a couple of weeks if you have to save up for it. So silly. Okay. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go. Thanks, ladies and guys. I think it's all women on here now. It's called Amazon. It's pretty easy. You can get to it anywhere in the world. You don't have to pimp yourself out for hearts. See, it's like, ooh, come here. I'll give you this book if you'll give me tons of hearts. If you need that approval and you need to win, then you'll sit there and tap till your fingers explode. But other people are like, what? That's stupid. I'll just give my own damn hearts. Okay. Bye. See you tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And I'll be here Thursday. I'll be down with the twins, so you never know how that one's going to go. But I'll see you in the morning. Have a wonderful day. Avoiding the temptation of illusion. Okay. Bye.